Akpan, Akwa Ibom Northeast. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is with profound gratitude that I lead the debate on the gas flaring prohibition and punishment bill 2020. Mr. President, like other bills, this bill, though, was passed by the 8th Senate in 2018, was however not concurred by the 8th House of Representatives due to time constraints, as the 8th National Assembly came to an end soon after the passage of this bill. Mr. President, this bill was first read in this chamber on November 19th, and its speedy passage, we believe, will culminate in the rapid infrastructural development of the oil and gas sector and enhance revenue of government and its related impact on improvement of the lives of our people in Niger Delta, both socially and environmentally. Mr. President, the impact on gas flaring on our environment and the lives of our people need not be overemphasized. Available data from the NNPC has shown that in 2018 alone, Nigeria lost over 217 billion naira in revenue as oil and gas companies fled a total of 244.84 billion standard cubic feet of natural gas within the same period, with the average price of natural gas put at $2.90 per 1,000 scoop as of February 16, 2017. Mr. President, you could see the huge loss that we incurred. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, this volume of gas flare, according to analysis, is sufficient to feed 3 LNG trains or generate 3.5 gigawatts of electricity. Mr. President, the last time, the main objective of this bill was that the last time any regulation was done on gas flaring was in 1979, which actually stipulated only 10 naira per 1,000 scoop of gas. So despite all that we had been flamed with the President, all we could generate was barely 2 billion naira a year. So what the bill actually seek to achieve with the President is to have a timeline where the Minister of Petroleum Resources must always review the situation in the oil and gas sector as regards gas flaring. It was through the instrumentality of this bill, Mr. President, that the President, President Muhammadu Buhari, signed just last year, September, between September and October, the first gas flaring penalty, which actually increased the penalty from 10 naira per standard cubic scoop of gas to about $1.20. This has catapulted the revenue on the gas flaring from a paltry 2 billion naira annually to about 40 billion naira annually. So, Mr. President, the objective of this bill is actually very clear because it was passed before. I therefore urge my colleagues and the leadership that this bill be read the second time so that we can process it again. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mover of this bill, Honorable Senator Akpan, and to say that the gas flaring in the Niger Delta area of Nigeria is not something I think we should be thinking of increasing the cost for flaring for oil-producing companies. I think we need to stop gas flaring completely because of the enormous damage it is causing in the Niger Delta. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, if you go to Port Harcourt today, we have what we call the black soot. The black soot is causing so much havoc that I don't think any amount of money is going to help the situation. There's no other country in the world that people are still flaring gas. There is a gas reinjection agreement signed a few, I think it was in 2017 or so. And since we started gas production in Nigeria, since oil production in Nigeria, the gas flaring has remained something the oil companies are not willing to stop. For me, there is no amount of cost that will be enough for us to continue to allow gas to be flared in Nigeria. We should stop gas flaring. The bill should state clearly that gas flaring should be stopped. The gas should be reinjected and reused to generate electricity or to provide raw material for the LNG plants. So when this bill goes to the committee for more work, I think we should have a date that should be specific when gas flaring should stop. The effect of gas flaring, if you go to the Niger Delta, you see plants, we can't grow plants anymore. The damage on the environment is too much. We are having degradation coming from oil spillages. Now we are also having degradation coming from gas flares. The damage is too much that I don't think any amount of money will be enough to compensate for the damage and the sufferings and the diseases that are coming out from the Niger Delta. I would like my colleagues to support this bill, but for us to have a definite date to stop gas flaring, so support.
Senator Sandu-Ono.
Mr. President, if you observed, and very clearly too, the sponsor of this bill in his lead debate didn't over-dramatize the issue, because the importance of this bill speaks for itself. Apart from the danger to the environment that flaring causes, what we lose in economic terms is unimaginable. At this point in time in the world, when people are speaking to the issues of environment and the disasters that accompany our refusal to do that which is needful in terms of global practices relating to the processing of oil and gas, etc. We are still in this country allowing companies to go away with excesses that are detrimental to the health of our people. It's not acceptable at all. I think we should all put our hands and heads together to ensure that these practices do not happen at all. The companies themselves are aware that what they are doing is wrong. And a bill such as this is very, very timely. I will therefore waste no time in supporting this bill and asking that the needful be done to ensure that gas flaring, as a matter of urgency, should be stopped in our country. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator.
Mr. President, Ibikunle Amosun, I represent Ogun Central. First, let me commend the initiator of this bill, Senator Bassi. Mr. President, I will be very brief. I just want to say that he dwells more, when I read this, on the negative economic implication, what we are losing as a nation in terms of maybe naira and kobo and dollars and what have you. But Mr. President, more than that, I want to look at the environment implication, the health hazard that this gas flaring, the negative health hazard that it portends for the people in the South region. Mr. President, every day when these gas are flared, you will notice that the people around the place, they do not no longer inhale what I call clean air. You will see contaminated air. That is what they inhale. And when some of these things do not manifest immediately. It takes several years for it to manifest. And that is why maybe 10, 15, 20 years, you will see that newly born babies, even those ones that are young ones, you will see them coming up with several different diseases. That is probably not medically, they cannot quickly maybe determine what it is. It is this everyday exposure to this terrific heat. When you move within maybe about even almost 500 meters or so, or even a kilometer, or even people far away, when they see the negative effect of this gas flaring, I think that should even concern us more, than the economic implication. So, Mr. President, I want to join my colleagues that there's no way, if you look at it from any perspective, you will come to the realization that we must put all hands on deck to make sure that we stop, we eliminate, and we eradicate these incidents of gas flaring. Mr. President, I so submit, and I want to wholeheartedly plead that we should support this bill to be read the second time. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Abbott.
Reading.
A bill for an act to prohibit flaring of natural gas in Nigeria and for matters connected there with 2020 second reading taken, and the bill is referred to the Senate Committee on Gas to report back within 4 weeks. Thank you very much, distinguished colleagues. Leader of the Senate.